I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. It's all good. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. It's all good. Get paid, get paid. Blow up like I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. It's all good. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. It's all good. Get paid, get paid. Blow up like I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought.
Welcome back to the Republic of Arsenal. Game just ended. Arsenal on the back of a 2-1 defeat to Unai Emery's Villarreal. Lads, we're just going to jump straight into this. I've got a monster panel here with me tonight to assess that performance, shit show, whatever the hell you want to call it. We got Sam Greenwood, we've got Gav Mack, we've got Gary, and we've got Stephen. Lads, let's jump straight into this. I'm not going to waste too much time. Sam, what did you make of that?
What a load of bollocks, eh? What a load of bollocks.
And that's the end of the stream.
Make
sure you like, share, subscribe.
Thank you, good night. Let's go to bed. I mean, I was excited before the game, and then I saw the lineup, and I just knew. I predicted a 2-1 loss. You can check with the guys at the Arsenal fan circle. I predicted a 2-1 loss. I said, listen, this is not looking good. We got no striker. We're playing with Xhaka at left back against Chukwueze. Ceballos in midfield again. He couldn't fucking hold water. I mean, listen, it's just we were set up to fail. And again, Arteta, you've got to put it on Arteta. Yes, the players, of course, they need to do their job. But when they're set up to fail, what do you expect them to do? You keep playing players who are poor. Their form is poor. He keeps picking them. He puts players out of position where they shouldn't be playing, like Xhaka out left back. It works against Sheffield United. It works at a stretch against a not very good Slavia Prague side. But then you're playing Chukwueze, who's a top winger. It's not going to work. We saw it. We saw it against Richarlison, against Everton. We saw it was coming, and we said, right, that's it. He can't play the next game. Everyone said that, and he starts in there again. It's completely mind-boggling. And then he decides to do an experiment up front today. We're like, okay, we're going to start with a false 9, and then we're going to go to a double 10. But we're still not going to have a striker. We have 3 strikers on the bench, but none of them starting on the field. So we're just going to do a little experiment today, and play like Spain in 2010. Let's do that. Just complete the wrong time to experiment. Come on, you got to go with what works. That's what you got to do. And again, Arteta just showed why he's an amateur, why he's still learning on the job, and why, for me, I can't trust him at all. I've been saying this for a long time. You can't have someone doing such an important job, such a big, important job with no experience and virtually no know-how. It's too big for him. He's got water over his head. It's time to pull the plug after the next game. I mean, if we go out, okay, give him the final if he gets to the final. But no matter what, at the end of the season, we've got to pull the plug because this guy is not going to learn how to do things properly. His man management's poor. The game management's poor again. Substitutions. When did he substitute Aubameyang? 85th minute. The first substitution was 70th minute or so? I mean, come on. And again with Ceballos. Playing a poor game today. We knew he was on a red. Should have been changed. Should have been taken out half time. Everybody said, come on, Ceballos he's just heading for a red card. Everyone said it, and it happened. Why is it we can see these things with our eyes and make these quite easy observations, but Arteta, who's paid God knows how many million a year, can't see it? I just don't get it. He's not up for this job, and that's why I chose my name tonight. Arteta's Kellogg's Frosties, because for me, I think he chooses his lineups out of his Frosties packet. He just picks out some flakes, and that's all. You go there, and you go there, and you start up there, and this is a nice lineup. 10 flakes here. You know, I mean, it's just completely mind-boggling. I just can't get my head around it, and he does it game after game after game after game. We have no consistency because we never ever play players who are on form in the right position, and he keeps tinkering with the tactics. So that's what we get, and pretty much that's what we get.
He is super stubborn. That's what it is.
Dead lucky tonight, 2-1. Dead lucky. Yeah,
we have got lucky. He is super damn stubborn. That's the issue, because like as you just mentioned before, we have 3 forwards on the bench. I would have kicked off if Nketiah started the game, if I'm honest. Nketiah is one of those sort of players that you bring on against tired legs, and he looks relatively impressive against those tired legs. Martinelli, I tweeted the second that the lineup was announced. I tweeted straight away. I was like, why is Martinelli not starting? And as I posted it, I saw is it Mel? I can't remember her last name. She's on Twitter, Arsenal fan. She
Mel Dani Ceballos.
No, not Tottenham Mel, Arsenal Mel Sevilla. Arsenal Twitter knows who she is, but like I tweeted, and as soon as I did it, I looked previous message. Why are they not starting? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to start. Because if you're not fit enough to start, then you shouldn't be on the bench. I'm a big believer in that. Obviously, you can only start 11 players, so that's what it is. What it is. But Arteta is so out of his depth, man. It embarrasses me. I look at the fact that we just started with a false 9, and you know, like when loads of people were taking the mickey out of Man City for not being able to get over the line. And everyone's blaming Pep. Pep's this, that, Pep's whatever. Can't get over the line. Can't get past the quarterfinal. Can't get past the semi-final. Does it make you think that maybe Arteta had an influence on those starting lineups when you look at the way things happened tonight?
There were stories. I know a fair few Man City fans from around here, and they were singing Arteta's praises when he was appointed Arsenal manager. I actually had City fans say to me, you know what, expect City to drop off because Arteta is actually the man, and Pep is the guy in front. He's the face of it. But they actually had said to me, Arteta is the man pulling the strings behind the scenes, and they actually reckoned that he was a major loss. But just to bring
I'll see it the other way around, Ant, before you run on. I'll see it the other way around. Because look at what City have done over the last 2-3 years in the Premier League and how boss they've been. They've absolutely smashed it. But when it comes to the European competitions, they experiment. Yeah. Why are you experimenting when you're meant to be like Premier League's your bread and butter? Yeah. But like European competition, that's where your names are made, and that's where your legacy is grown from. So to experiment in a European major match, whether it be a quarterfinal, semi-final, in our case tonight, why are you experimenting now? Why are you not experimenting that in the league or in the League Cup, all that sort of stuff? Do you know what I mean? Man City only ever experimented when it got to the latter stages of a European competition, and Arsenal are doing that now. Why? Yeah. Do you not want to win it? Come on, man.
Yeah, well, look, just want to bring Gary in now. Gary, have you any sympathy whatsoever for Arteta with that lineup? Given the fact that I know a few players were in contention, but were you in any way sympathetic that maybe they weren't ready and that's why he didn't play them?
No, I'm not at all. Not at all. I mean, we've said it multiple times. Arteta doesn't do certain things because he's just not confident in it. So today we saw what he's confident in. Whatever that lineup was today, for some reason he was confident with that, and that's what he went with. In the most important game of the season. He went with that lineup. And we're supposed to go, all right, yep, he knows what he's doing. All right, yep, he comes from the Pep school of coaching. He knows what he's doing. I don't know. That's not. I don't. I'll be surprised. Pep looked at that and went, "Yep, that's right. That's how I taught him." You know, that's those are. Yep, that's exactly what I would do. That's what I would do. Martinelli, Aubameyang are healthy. You know, Martinelli played in the front line to finish off the last game. Looked really good. Nope, he's just not ready. We're going to experiment and try something we haven't done all season, as far as I'm concerned. I know we've done. I know people have said we've been in that lineup before, but this is the time you decide to do that, right? This is the time you decide to do that. What? Come on. I mean, you just. I don't get. What is he doing? I mean, come on. This is too easy. I always say, humans make things that are easy really problematic. He didn't have to make many. He could have used the same lamp in the last game, and I would have been okay. I'll go with that because I can see what you're trying to do. I don't like it, Eddie up top, but I can understand. I guess I kind of have to understand why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe you replace him with Martinelli, and we see something different come out of the game. But this is the game he decides to put that lineup together. Emil Smith-Rowe up top. What? Like you said, 3 strikers. I mean, everything about this doesn't make any sense. It's like. I guess I want to get fired because isn't that what you do when you want to get fired? You do something like, he just sabotaged the game. Ceballos gets a yellow. Everybody in their right mind's like, you know what? Maybe you can pull him because we know he's a short fuse and he might do something silly. And this is the second time he's done something silly after having a really bad outing in the game, right? And boom, he gets unlucky with the call, but still. I mean, you got to know. There was no reason probably for him to go in there the way he did. But still, you still make a change. You got 5 subs. What are 5 subs for if you can't use them until the 80th minute? They brought a sub in long before us. We should have brought a sub in at halftime. Easy, right? We score. Aubameyang should have been coming in. Martinelli should have been coming in right after we score because guess what? We're chasing the game. We need to get another goal. We can't go back home with a deficit. We need 2 away goals because we are not going to hold them to just 0 goals at home. The last time we've done that was 9 games ago to a United team that just scored 6.
Yeah.
How are we going to stop that? No way. So everything about this just doesn't make any sense. And if he wants to get fired, he's doing a good job. The only problem is I think the people that are making that decision didn't even know we had a game today.
Exactly.
Draft is tonight. NFL draft is tonight. The last thing they're thinking about is the Arsenal game. I have no doubt about it. The Rams picked like 20th or something. They don't know there's a game today.
Yeah,
we haven't even got a draft in the first round. Did you see what happened to Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl this year? We need offensive tackles, man. I know we got your man from the Ravens, but we need help on the offensive line.
There's no way Stan and Josh know anything about a game tonight. The big show is going on tonight. It's happening in Cleveland. Their football team is coming, and they don't even know that we're having. Sorry,
I'm picturing the Cronkies getting up tomorrow, dusting off their Arsenal shirts if they can find one in the closet somewhere, and kind of going, "Oh, big game today!" We'll take a few pictures for social media, support the team, and then someone going, "Lads, you lost last night," and going, "Oh well, fuck it." Yeah. But Stephen. Looking at that lineup tonight, like a man who knows that team inside out, knows Arsenal, inside out in a short time there. But I've said this all along. It's largely a lot of the players Emery worked there. He must have been looking at that, and Granit Xhaka at left back, and he must have been licking his lips and saying, "This is going to be a very good evening here for me tonight." What do you reckon? He must have been sitting there going, "Yeah, I'm having a bit of this."
Yeah, do you know what? You guys have all very much sort of set your stall out tonight. It's very much all against Arteta. So I suppose I'm going to have to be the token Arteta in guy and defend him.
I'm not laughing at your. I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I'm just laughing at the token in thing.
Yeah. I don't. You know what? You can't defend them. Emery. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Emery be licking his lips when he's seen that lineup. Oh well, you say that, but I mean, do you think Emery actually had any clue what the formation was? Because as fans, we had no clue. You know, we were talking before the game. As you know, it started off and the lineup came out. I was going, right, that's a 3. You know, it's the traditional sort of 4-2-3-1. Then all of a sudden you're seeing no, it's 5. You know, or it's 3-5-1-1. Then it's, you know, it's two 10s, 2 out in the wing, nobody up top, and you're going, right? Has he just been? Do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember when you used to play Football Manager as a kid? And there was that one team that would always win the league. So what you did was you went in and you added a manager of that team, and you sold all their best players, and then you used that money to buy one of your kids out of your team, so you had all the extra money.
No one's ever
and then
done
you lined
that.
Then when you played them, you lined up 5 down each side and 1 goalkeeper.
No one's ever done that.
So that to me is what Arteta
Blasphemous.
How Emery could predict that lineup, you know, I don't know. When I thought we were going for the 3 at the back, and I thought, you know, Xhaka in midfield, I was like, okay. But Xhaka at left back, I mean, I said before the Everton game he was going to get exposed. You know, it worked for a couple of games, but he was going to get exposed, and he did get exposed. You know, it was schoolboy lunging in for Richarlison to go past him. And again, the same tonight. You know, I think rather than having schoolboy tackling, he went for no tackling. And it's just, I don't know where Arteta gets these ideas.
I've got no issue with him playing at left back because no, I haven't, and we'll always stem off one game only, if I'm honest. But he was like prime Ashley Cole, prime Maldini, prime Bremer in this game, and that was the game against Leicester when we won 3-1. And like, me and my brother went to that game. It was his birthday. I took him to the Arsenal to watch that game, and you know, if Arsenal are going to play a rigid back 4. He could play left back every game, all 38 games of the Premier League season. I'll have no issue with that. But Arsenal aren't rigid. Arsenal like to move forward. Well, historically, we like to go forward. We like to move forward. So if you are going to be doing that job, then we need someone else to go there. That's where Bukayo Saka played left back in a back 4 and left wing back in a back 5. So why not play him there? We've got enough talent up front to compensate for a lack of him in the final third. Yeah. You know, so why not play Bukayo Saka there?
Yeah, you've got to wonder what's the issue with Cedric. I mean, for me, Cedric has got to be a better left back than Xhaka.
No, he's not. Cedric has had one good game at left back, and that was the league game against Southampton. Every time he has played there, he has been shocking at left back. And the reason why is because what winds me up is that the league game against Southampton, he put a couple of crosses in with his left peg, and they were really good. But other than that, the FA Cup game against Southampton and every league game after that when he's played left back, he is... And in the Europa League, he's done everything he can to turn around and cut it back. And the communication between Cedric and Gabriel is shocking. It is literally like ringing anyone off Vodafone in the village that I live in. You're not going to get any reception. And that is the relationship that those two have. It's so poor. It's unreal. So he's a fullback, correct? So therefore you want to play a fullback in that position. But no, in any position on the pitch, excluding fullback, you need to you can play with either foot. But if you're playing right back, you need to have a right foot. If you're playing left back, you need to have a left foot.
What are we playing, Gabriel left back?
I won't be against that because his left footed. He understands it.
I have a question.
And Pablo Mari played on the left side of the 3 a few times, and in that Flamengo side when Flamengo were pushing forwards. So therefore, he can fit in that left back position.
So the point is though that we have better options than Xhaka at left back.
Definitely.
We need Shaka back in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, whatever about Xhaka, whether you rate him or you don't, I think he has shown at times this season he's important to the midfield, and again, whether you like him or not, he's still a hell of a lot of a better option than Dani Ceballos is in midfield. So
Yeah.
I don't see why we're crippling ourselves in midfield and at left back just to squeeze him in at left back. But yeah, Gary, you had a question there.
I was just gonna say, I think I know it here. Just like that last game where Lacazette after the game came out and said, "You know what? We didn't trust Arteta in what he was telling us to do." So I'm going to play devil's advocate and say, yeah, he put him in the right formation. He told him what to do. I don't know what that is with this lineup. Do any of you guys know what that is? What he might have told them that they did not execute in today's game?
Don't score
with
any
that
own
lineup.
goals.
Don't concede inside 6 minutes.
Because I like to think we can win every game, and I like to think he saw that lineup and said, I have a plan. I would like to know what that is. What is a plan that sets you up that way that would be successful? Does anybody know how we do that?
I'll wait for you, Gary, because at the end of the day, I look at it from your perspective as well, of a case of I don't look at that to think why should we lose that game. I think of many reasons why we can't lose that game, because we are, and this is not an elitist thing. I look at our squad, our team, man for man. I feel that we are good enough to compete with anybody. And I'm not trying to say that our players are world class, but I look at certain players and certain things and what they do. I think, right, you could do it. I look at the manager only. So I'm intrigued to find out what your answer is.
I really don't know what that's. I mean, I don't know how you play that with the players that we put out there. That's why I'm so confused. People are like, that's what Man City does that, and I'm like, all right, but they got De Bruyne on the team. We don't have a De Bruyne on the team. We don't have a Foden on the team right now. Saka is getting there, but he's not there yet, right? Pepe on the other side isn't consistent. So what am I expecting from there? Millsworth row up top. How playing for the first time doing that? I mean, I was hoping that if you can do this, then you can move a Millsworth row and take Ceballos and put him on the bench and say, you know what, play next to Partey. I've seen it, and I've seen it work. For about 30 minutes. If he can do this for the first time in this game, then he can take Ceballos, put him on the bench. And he can put Ceballos and take a Millsworth row, say, you know what, play next to Partey, or you know what, we're just going to switch things up a little bit. You and Martin can play right in front of Partey, and let's see how we do this. We need to score goals, right?
Yeah.
That was the point coming into this game. We needed to score goals, not a goal, goals.
Yeah.
No going back home. We're going to give up one.
Yeah.
We are. One. So we need to score goals in this one so we can go home with a little bit of a comfortable lead in terms of away goals, and then try to figure it out there. So now we've wasted this trip because we only got the one goal. Now we've got to, essentially, for me, if we're not up by 3, I'm going to be concerned for the whole game.
Yeah, 100%. Because even if we score 2, we could be 2-0 up after 10 minutes. But then we're going to be sitting there shitting ourselves, knowing that a goal back is going to make things awkward. And if we go 3-1 up, it's wonderful. But if they get a goal back, then they're in control. It's nothing against Villarreal. It's more against Arsenal. The biggest problem at Arsenal is Arsenal.
Yeah.
We have to beat ourselves before we beat the opposition. This isn't Arsenal. Well, it has been over the last few years, but this is not what our history depicts, and it's painful.
Yeah, you know what, Gav? We've been talking about that all week. It feels like every podcast I'm doing lately, it's I think the common theme is almost like we're not even worrying about what the opposition can do to us, because first and foremost we're worrying about what we can potentially do to ourselves, and then we're going, oh, and by the way, they have Moreno up front and Paco Alcacer, and then they have Chukwueze and that. But Sam, as Gary was saying, this was a wasted opportunity. We had an opportunity to get ourselves in the league, get a couple of away goals here, because we know the Emirates, it's not exactly a fortress. And we didn't even play a striker. We didn't even play a striker, and we were looking for goals. I guess with hindsight on our side now, had he pulled that off tonight, would that have been an Arteta masterclass, or would that still just have been just pure luck?
I don't think he had any chance tonight. I mean, I just don't see how it could have worked with what he put out there tonight. I mean, yeah, you're right. We should have gone there to score goals, and that's been some of our best performances this season have been away in the Europa League, and we're good away. We're rubbish at home, So it was a chance for us to put a couple of goals, on the old aggregate score sheet, and hopefully come home with a couple of away goals at least. Would have been great, but. That lineup, I just knew that this is going to be so hard. And Arteta, I also wrote it on Twitter. I said, why does Arteta need to make it so hard for himself? What is he doing? Surely he must see that this is not going to be easy. You're not playing a striker. What are you going to do in the final third? You expect Saka and Pepe to get in behind, to cut in behind Smith Rowe or Ødegaard, or both of them when they're playing double tens. I mean, how did he expect that to work in the final third? And lo and behold, you're playing no striker. There's nothing really working up front. What happens? You end up with one shot on target whole game, or actually just one shot, and there was a shot on target from Aubameyang right at the end of the game. That was the only shot apart from the penalty. That was
apart from the pen, yeah.
So it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking, and it's his setup and the way he's set up today tactically, and that lineup that has caused this. There's a direct correlation between the two, it's mind-boggling, because this is our biggest game of the season so far. It's a semi-final. We can get one leg ready to go into the final, set ourselves up for the second leg nicely at home. But now, like you guys say. We'll be sitting on the edge of our seat, aren't we? The home game. We know we're rubbish at home. We know we have this tendency to ship goals out for free. And like you say, they score one goal. That's a squeaky bum time, isn't it? I mean, we need a few goals. Then it's going to make it so hard for us. It's not impossible, but it's really hard. And do you trust Arteta? I don't. Do you trust him to pick the right team next week? I don't. It's going to be so hard, and we struggled to get through against Benfica, Olympiacos, Slavia Prague. They're not good teams.
Yeah,
this is the thing. They're not good teams, and we've been struggling. It's poor, guys. It's really poor. But we should have gone there with a really direct game plan, with our best team playing the way we normally play. I mean, the best way we can play, which is. For Arsenal this season, and have a good away game, which we've had before this season. But no, completely reverse that, changed it all around again, and that was it. We shit the bed.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing I think we're all going to be in agreement with tonight anyway, it's look, he definitely got it wrong. He definitely got the lineup wrong from the start. Stephen, we were exposed after 4 minutes. I think Granit Xhaka got found out, and I put that out on Twitter. I said 4 minutes in, Xhaka's been found out, and you could see they were targeting that side of the pitch. They just knew we had Dani Ceballos playing kind of slightly out on the left, and Xhaka at left back. We went 2-0 down, and at that stage, like we said, we were 2 down. After half an hour, we hadn't even got a striker on the pitch. Did you see any way back? And at that stage, I know it's only a half an hour in, but I guess the one thing I used to say about Emery is he wasn't afraid to make changes at half time. Where Arteta, I kind of felt this guy is just gonna keep it going. And I know you're the token Arteta in guy tonight, so that's why I'm kind of coming to you. Did you have any faith in Arteta to change this about when we were 2-0 down after half an hour?
Do you know what? I try to back Arteta, and I have done it until now. I really have, and it's getting harder and harder. When we went 2-0 down, I was sitting there and I was watching it. I was watching it through StreamYard, funny enough, with G, who I do my own shows with. And we were sort of talking, and I was saying, I'm not even angry. I'm just, you're so used to this. It's either going to be a great performance or a crap performance. And I just, I thought to myself, it's not going to get any better. We got to half time, and I was saying, we need to make changes now. But you knew it was going to be 70 minutes. You knew. And I think that's the frustration, is that we're all now, we know exactly when the subs are coming, and we know what subs are coming on, and we know it's too late. So no, I had no confidence he was going to turn it around. I said if we could get one back, we're not out of it. And I'm saying now, and I'm going on record, this tie's going to penalties. It's going to be 2-1 next week, and it's going to go to penalties. It's written in the stars. It's going to be a penalty shootout. But no, I had no confidence that we were going to get back into it at all. And to be fair, I was worried it was going to get worse, especially after Ceballos was sent off. I did genuinely think this could end up being 3 or 4. We could be completely out of this tie already. So I was glad we got one back. We're still in it, but no, do you know what? And I've got to the point now where I'm not 100% Arteta out, but I'm almost there.
You're meant to be the champion. What's going on? I'm well confused.
No, do you know, I'm on the exact same wavelength, and I know Gary and Sam know better than anybody my feelings. And as I keep stressing, I think people keep getting confused. I've never been Arteta in, but I've been very, very sympathetic, maybe overly sympathetic, but I've never been Arteta in. I've been understanding, we'll call it. But yeah, I felt I felt a couple of things tonight that I haven't felt at all, and I felt a bit of a shift in momentum with regard to a few things. And again, look, it's easy to feel these things in the heat of the moment, but I'm not going to lie, I'm very concerned. And yeah, we got the away goal, but I've got very different feelings now.
It's a flattering result. It's a flattering result
100%.
Because Leno made 2 good saves tonight that saved our bacon. I mean, we should have lost that game 4-1 at least.
Yeah.
Leno saved our bacon. So and for me, Saka was looking for that penalty. I think it was a very, very controversial. I think he looked for it, he got it.
It was a pen, but it was soft.
It's a professional penalty. What I say, he was looking for it, he got it. Then the referee had to call it, and we were lucky to get it, and we were lucky to get that 2-1 result is very flattering to us. Another day it could have been 4-1.
Yeah, completely agree. Gary, what did you make of the first penalty call for Arsenal? The one that we didn't get. Any arguments with that one? The handball.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think it was okay. Yeah, it wasn't. Our players don't play like that where we're trying to get those penalties like that. So I didn't think anything. I didn't think we got something taken away from us at that point. I mean, the fact that that's the only way we're going to get to score in this game, it says so much about the way that we were set up, that the only way we're going to get to score is if we basically go to drama school and get really good at it and get an Oscar, because we weren't doing anything football wise to get a goal, but we did a lot of selling out there in terms of what was going on. So that's kind of what I saw there. And that,
if it's good enough for Harry Kane,
I know.
I just pricks up the road.
I just felt like you got Pepe on the one side, you got Saka on the other side. I have a feeling they're being told to do some of the things that they do, because I'm like, if I'm Pepe and I see just a defender in front of me and then a goalie behind him, attack that guy, attack that man. You can get by him. You can put some space between yourself. We seem to come up hesitant to actually want to attack them. And I look at the game also, and I'm like, all right, You know the pass is coming to you. You're standing either inside the box or just outside of it. Put a foot through it. For every you go back and watch that game, you're going to see time and time again the ball's coming to somebody who can see the goal. The last thing on their mind is to take a shot. Their feet aren't set. They collect the ball and then they go back. Right? We love to go back.
Venga ball.
Go
Play
back
on your heels.
And it's we need to go forward. When I used to coach the little kids, I always just tell them to the goal. That's all I would say. Get it out of here when it's on the inside the box because the defender, or go to the goal because that's where nobody wins going on the outside going backwards. No, you go to the goal. That's where you win. The objective in this game is to win, so you got to go to the goal. And I feel like whatever he's telling them, they just don't want to do it, and they pull back so many times. How many times are we going to pull back? No, just take it to the goal line, cross it in, do something positive. We're always waiting for a really nice pass. We're not. This isn't the Wenger teams of many years ago where you could see them passing and you knew they were going to put somebody out of position and next time and they're going to walk the ball in. Right? We're not doing that. We got to force it down their throat. We have players I think that can do it. I don't know if they've been given the confidence or the instructions to do it, but we should be able to put a little bit of pressure on the other team, and yeah. Sorry, I just kind of went off from that.
No, that's it, Gary. Though, like Arsenal have no balls. We haven't got the bollocks anymore. We are literally so wet, and it's harrowing watching the demise of Arsenal Football Club, the club that we all support, the club that we all love, just sitting there doing nothing. That first penalty shout, it was a penalty as far as I was concerned, but it was rightly returned because of the handball in the build-up.
Yeah.
But the second one, whether he was looking for it or not, it's a penalty. They are given across the board of any level of football, so it's a pen. But the fact that we are relying on getting decisions rather than relying on our ability as a quality football club, because we are, it's sad. It's sad to see. It's almost like we're watching the demise of Arsenal Football Club happen in front of our eyes, and we're watching it happen week by week. And when it comes up to games that we've seen this season, we've got Villa at home. Yeah, we'll do that. We've got Wolves at home. Yeah, we'll do that. We've got Wolves away. Yeah, we'll do that. We've got Palace at home. Away, sorry. Yeah, we'll do that. We've got Fulham at home. Yeah, we'll do that. We've lost or drawn all of those games. That is a problem. This is Arsenal Football Club, and this is not an elitist thing. I always like to throw that little caveat in there, but man for man, a half decent gaffer in control of these players. Well, this is a minimum top 4 side and can challenge. It really can, and this is not. This is me looking at it from a football perspective, not an Arsenal perspective, because I always look at things subjectively. On my channel, MAD Sports Network, get it in there. We cover the Bundesliga, we cover the MLS, we cover the Championship. 3 completely contrasting leagues, but we see heart and desire from every single one of the 24 in the Championship, from every single one of the 27 in the MLS, and every single one of the 18 in the Bundesliga. You see heart, desire, and passion. Minus Schalke. I'm wearing a Schalke shirt today. So of the 17 of the 18 sides in the Bundesliga, you see passion and desire and promise. Arsenal don't have that. And that stems deep. That stems from players that have played under the Wenger era, and it also stems from players that are not being coached properly. As simple as that. Yeah. Once again, man for man, if you look at the individuals, and also even take it as far as individual performances by certain players, we're not seeing the Arsenal side right now. We're seeing a group of imposters playing on behalf of Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they've given up on Arteta or not, and it's sad. I never wanted Arteta in the first place. I don't think Arsenal were going in that direction. Arsenal, if Arteta was ever to come in, he should have been the first person to come in straight after Wenger. But if not, go ply your trade elsewhere. We are not a project.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that we are being treated as one. We should be. We as once again, we are Arsenal Football Club. We have got a global presence. We have got European pedigree. Not necessarily winning trophies, but we are there. We are there constantly. We were a side that were constantly challenging for a title, and we're not doing that anymore. Arsenal have lost their identity completely, and we need to get it back. And we're not going to get it with rookie gaffers. We need to go out there and get experience. But what experience is going to want to come to Arsenal right now? What half-decent prospects and players are going to want to come to Arsenal right now? We've lost that.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, Gav? That's why I feel we ended up with Arteta in the first place, because what manager, self-respecting manager at the top of the game that isn't just looking for an easy payday, a Mourinho type of manager who's not just looking to come in and kind of ride it out for a season or two and get his 30 million quid payoff. What kind of manager that still has aspirations of achieving things and winning trophies? What guy like that is going to come in? We heard that Allegri apparently was interested and sat down with the board, and I can imagine how that conversation went. How much money have I got to spend? Well, you've got to clear these guys off the books first. And he's going, okay, right. You want me to work with this squad who at the time had Mustafi and guys like that, Kolasinac, and you're going, and you want me to do what? You want me to achieve top four? And I've no money to spend, and I've just won the Serie A 7 seasons in a row. It's like, are you fucking mad? So you can completely understand why we got a rookie who's going to come in and go, yeah, boss, okay, I've no money, boss, okay.
I'll tell you what, might as well have Gareth Southgate in charge. That's what it is. But you say that, and what makes me laugh as well is that there were 2 managers that were available that we could have had, and the fans lost their mind going, why the fuck would we want any of these two?
Brendan Rodgers would be one.
Yeah, and who's the other one? Thomas Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Both gaffers were almost like, from a fan's point of view, laughed out of the ground before they even had an opportunity to interview. What's happening at Leicester right now? What's happening at Chelsea right now? Remember who you are. Remember where we're meant to be. Let's not take the piss out of gaffers that are actually meant to be doing something half decent, that have changed the philosophy of the clubs that they're in now and are making things happen and making things work. And then we've got a guy that put cones out. Come on, man.
What pisses me off with all the we're all fans of Arsenal Football Club, but at the moment we're pretty divided in the fan base between those who still think Arteta's the right man and those who don't. But those who do support Arteta, they have a couple of arguments or points they come with that just drive me completely mad. One of them is, what do you expect from? What do you expect? He's new. He's learning. He's learning to be a manager. I'm like, how is that? How is that even an excuse? We're Arsenal Football Club. We're not a trade school. We're not a bloody university to learn how to be a manager. It's he's learning, so you have to understand. No, sorry. And the other one is, it's who else is there? Like, there's no other manager in the universe. Like, excuse me.
We're Arsenal Football Club.
There are many managers all over the world who could probably come in and do a better job than Arteta with experience. Yeah. And we have money. Arsenal has money. We still have a pool. We're a big club. If the right bid was made and then actually had a decent project put together, they could get a big name in. Of course they could. Yeah. I think they went for the easy option. That's the thing. I just think they went for the easy option, and that's where we are now. And it's terrible. It really is. It's like you say, watching the demise of Arsenal Football Club. That's why I really hope there's some legs on this Daniel Egg bid, because we need to get these owners out. We do. That's part of it, but we can still improve with a better manager, because you can get more out of this squad. That's the first thing. We can get more out of this squad, and then we got to look at the ownership.
I just one thing to say on that.
I just want Dominic's question to you, Sam. Like, what if in the summer we don't sell, we don't get sold, and we're there, and the Cronkies somehow stump up a fuck ton of cash, and we get every single target that is required and whatever before a ball is kicked for the 21-22 season, would you be happy?
Well, I would be happy, because that's what we need as a football club. I mean, if we're being honest, that is what we need, right? We need that overhaul in that squad. That's just never been happening. Just little drips and drabs here and there. We're always missing 3 or 4 players. It's always never enough. But if they actually did come out and said, listen, here you go, here's 300 million quid, and you're going to have to get rid of some players, but you got 300 million quid. We did, and like you said, everything was all lined up, ready to go for the next season. Some big names, some good players we know are going to make us better. Then you have to be honest and say that would be good. That would make people happy. But this is the big but. Can you see that happening with the history of KSC and the Cronkies? No, you can't see that happening. We have to generate our own money. We have to sell all these players to generate our own money. That's what we have to do.
I guess the other thing is, and again, I'm going to go to Stephen on this. Stephen, sorry, I'm not singling you out here. It's just I know you're still, very much the Arteta kind of in. And look, I'm here with you. I am here with you. As I said, I haven't completely crossed that line with Arteta, but you know what I mean. I'm very, very much on the fence. I've got splinters on my arse right now. I'm that much on the fence. So I find it difficult, but I'm kind of coming to you with these questions. If we do get the investment from the Cronkies, Daniel Ek, whoever it is, are you trusting Arteta to be the guy to recruit wisely? Are you trusting Arteta and Edu? And we saw today there's word, it hasn't been announced, but I think Vinay is possibly out the door now. So
off the Premier League panel, not the Arsenal board.
Are we restructuring our boardroom before we get it right on the pitch again? Are you trusting these guys with the cash?
Well, I don't think Vinay's going anywhere. I think he's off the Premier League board, because all the chairmen who were on any of the boards were asked to step down after the whole European Super League thing. Do I trust Arteta and Edu to spend the cash? I mean, I don't see why not. You look at the players they have signed. The likes of Gabriel. He's a good player, and he's definitely going to be one for the future. I'm trying to think who else. Odegaard's a good player. It's whether we can get Odegaard back on a permanent deal or another season's loan. You'd question why he kept, he brought Ceballos back for another year. And you would question why the likes of, Bellerin weren't sold, Xhaka wasn't sold. There's players, because, I mean, much as we've said, and people have said about, getting Xhaka back in the midfield. And you hear it a lot from fans saying, Xhaka's one of our best midfielders, and he is, but yet everybody is in the same position where they're all saying, but we need to get a new centre midfielder and partner party. So, how much do people really rate Xhaka? I think his recruitment's not been bad. I mean, Mari has been a turn up for the books. Did anybody expect Mari to be, arguably one of our best defenders this season?
Yes. You
did? Okay. You maybe had watched him more than the rest of us then.
A lot.
That's the thing. I hadn't heard of him, to be perfectly honest with you. Until we signed him, I hadn't heard of him. And it was only then, when we signed him, I found out he had played at City and stuff, but... So, I mean, the recruitment's not been too bad. Do I trust Arteta in the long term? I've said all along that I don't think he's going anywhere. Much as, even if I go fully Arteta out, I don't think, even if we lose, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I said last night on our own show, and I mean, Gary and you, Anthony, you were both tuning in, and you would have heard me say, he needs to win this tie to buy him a little bit of time with the fans. He needs to win the Europa League more than anything. He wins it, he buys himself a bit of time with the fans.
Well, we said that about the FA Cup.
Yeah, and he got a season out of it, didn't he? Which is too much, really. You know, I'm not happy with how things are going. Don't get me wrong, but I think realistically, it does buy him a little bit of time because a lot of the fan base are fickle. They are, and it will buy him time if we win the Europa League. But for me, I don't think he's going anywhere. If we're sitting in 10th place at Christmas, he has to go. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. He has to go.
What about 7th?
For me, honestly, I think we need to be top 5 by
Okay.
Christmas.
What about if it comes to Christmas, right? We're in 6th place, but we're 15 points behind top 4.
Nah, it's too far. It's too far. You know, we need to see big improvements. But again, it depends on whether he gets backed in the summer. If he's not going to get backed, they might as well sack him because you're right.
Personnel's bad.
You see, I do. I think a lot of that squad needs changed, personally.
Every single squad in world football will want better than what they've got. Every single squad does. But if you look at it man for man, I don't think the squad is as bad as everyone's making out. I actually think it's a pretty damn good squad. I think tactically it goes bad. And what will happen, individual errors will happen in games, and it's like, well, you can't equate for individual errors. It's like, well, why are you playing that formation? Why are you playing that system? You know, why are you playing a goalkeeper who can't command his box between the sticks? That is a management situation. That's nothing to do with individual. That's not anything to do with personnel as such. Like you play to your strengths. You play to your strengths. Like, I'm not saying Matt Ryan is a better goalkeeper than Bernd Leno. I'm not saying that. I think Bernd Leno is a good goalkeeper. That is it. He's just a good goalkeeper. But he is someone who is not prepared. Like, he is someone who is brilliant in goal when you're 3-0 up, 4-0 up, because the opposition are crap, frankly, and he can build things from the back quite nicely. We've got defenders that can start and go for it. We will never play 2 left-footed centre-halves, which is a shame, because Pablo Mari is, for me, the best defender at Arsenal Football Club. And then you've also got Gabriel, who's left-footed, who started off the season brilliantly. He had his COVID and whatever, and is starting to build back. I think Holding's performances have not been as bad as what the media and what Arsenal fans have been putting out there. And then at right back, then play, Cedric, because Cedric at right back is damn brilliant. So then that's a nice back 4. And then what are we going to do with our midfield? Are we going to play a 3? Are we going to play 2 on 1? Are we going to 4-2-3-1? If we're going to play a 2, Xhaka and Partey does the job. I honestly think it does that. If you want to go a bit more defensive, you could play Shaq. You could play Partey and El Neni. That could work as well. We go, oh well, El Neni's shit. Rah, rah. Is he shit though? What are you expecting from your defensive central midfielder? I don't want to hear what the kids are going on about. Going, oh yeah, goals and assists. You don't get enough goals. Don't get any assists. He's not there to do that job. He's there to stop shit going past and heading towards our defense, and he does that pretty damn well. So there you go. Crack on. In behind. You want to play him Smith Rowe? Yeah, you do that. Out wide right. Let's stop playing Saka out wide right. Let's play him left. Or if you are going to play him wide right, why don't you put Pepe wide left? And then you can put whoever through the middle, whether it be Balogun, which we're all singing and dancing about, which we don't know is going to prove himself in the professional game, or are we going to put Lacazette through there? We're going to put Aubameyang out there. Man for man, individually, we have got a bloody good squad. Get it right on the pitch. The individual errors that are happening are based on the system that we're playing. So stop playing that. Stop playing it out from the back all the time. Stop trying to deal with that retention. Move more. Stop playing on your heels. Arsenal have been playing on their heels for the last 5 or 6 years. If you watch any club in world football of any level, of any standard, they play on their toes. They want the ball. They go for it. They move towards the ball to try and win it, to try and feed someone on and try and move it on. Every time a ball is being passed to an Arsenal player, they have to almost like leaning back to move themselves into winning it. Go watch Cambridge United. Go watch Forest Green Rovers. They want the ball. Every single player wants the ball. They gravitate towards being part of the ball. They make in behind runs. They will sometimes wait on the byline, waiting for the ball. But as soon as that ball is played, they're proactive. Arsenal Football Club have not done that for years.
No, we're static. You see a lot of the time in attack, we're static. No one's moving. No one's trying to get into space. It's terrible. It really is.
Do you think, lads, it's Gary, I'll go to you, sorry. Do you think maybe it's a case of, is it coming from the coaching? Is it bad coaching? Or is it, like I've said this for a while, is it that this squad has a poor football IQ? Maybe they don't understand what the manager is asking from them. Or maybe they do. Maybe they just don't have the ability to be able to do what he's asked, because we've had I had this discussion yesterday with Jamie, who was the Villarreal fan, and we were doing a comparison between Emery and Arteta, and we kind of came to the conclusion that both of them are quite tactical managers, quite hands-on. Say what you will about Arteta, but he's come from the Pep Guardiola school of coaching, so he's obviously picked up a few things. Like, I think it'd be unfair to say he hasn't got a clue, despite what we're seeing. He's obviously got something. He's got some idea. The squad wasn't able to do what Emery wanted to do. They don't seem to be able to do what Arteta seemingly wants them to do. Is it an IQ problem in the squad? Are they just not good enough? Are the coaches maybe they need to dumb it down a little bit for this team? Maybe they're asking a bit too much.
You asked about the team IQ. I do have a couple of things I do want to talk about. I guess we'll talk about the IQ first, though. So I think it's more of the delivery of whatever he's trying to get to his team. And it's also probably the analysis that he's done, because I don't feel like what we're seeing out there, he understands what these players can do they're best at. When we see them on the pitch, that's what I kind of feel when I see the way they play, because I can't say that, what is it? It's April now. By now, if you don't know what each player can do, then we got a problem, right? And it seems like we're watching players out there who don't know what they're doing, or being asked to do things they can't, and being put in situations where they can't perform. And that shouldn't be the case at this point in the season. At this point in the season, you should know what your 25 or 26 players can and cannot do, and you put them in those positions to succeed. I always say that. I mean, they need to be able to do that, or else you're gonna suffer, and that's what we're doing. We're suffering. We're seeing a team out there today play, and I don't feel like they had a clue of what they were trying to, what did the coach want from us today, and they weren't able to answer that. One, probably to his face, and two, of what we saw on the pitch. So I think he's overthinking things, and I think that's what some people have said. He kind of is just a little too smart for his own self, and he needs to dumb it down. At least start from there, build on that, because I feel like we're trying to do, calculus, and we're still trying to figure out our additions and subtractions, that type of thing. So just asking them to do a little bit too much from what we're seeing out there. These players, I don't believe, are dumb. We've seen them succeed in certain parts of the season. At this point, when you put them out there like that, I think you're kind of setting them up to fail, and they failed. And now, is that on the players? Are they doing what the manager's asking them to do? I hope so, because I hope they're not just taking what he said and not able to do it, because I feel like we have some, like Mac, like Gav said, I think we have really good players on our team. This wasn't our best 11 players to go on the pitch today, even with some of the injuries that we had. I think we could have put a better 11 out there. And then depending on what we wanted to do, if we needed to score, we needed to set up a certain way. We didn't do that. Learning, he's learning on the job, and now he's got the team learning on the field. All right, you know what? We have been set up this way before, so we're going to do this today. Don't worry, it's the biggest game we've got going on. So it's a big, it's a big mess right now. A lot of little things that can be corrected, and they should be easy to fix, I believe. I just think we're just, he's doing just overthinking these things. I did want to say something before I go, before I finish my thought here. We were talking earlier, Stephen and Gab, you guys were talking earlier about, I think, just the way the team's structured. And I feel like, why does Arsenal care what we think? I feel like they care what we think. They shouldn't care what we think. As far as if they want to go out there and get a manager they feel is the best manager for them, they should go out and do it. I hear a lot of times, you know what? They didn't want to do that because the fans would go crazy. You know what? At some point, you're gonna have to put on your big boy pants and do what you feel is best, because football supposedly. That's why you're in that position. Sometimes I feel like they go out there just for the big name player. Think about this: we had 8 center backs, and we still went out and bought another one. Why? We have no money, but we're going to spend it all on Partey. You telling me we couldn't take half of that, taking 20, split that 50 in half and buy 2 players from the championship? These are, if you have that money, and if that should have been known going into the transfer window. It seemed like at the end of the transfer window, guess what? We can't get all these other transfers done. We're going to need a Hail Mary here. Can you help us out, coach? And then Stan said, okay, I'll prove it. Take this money out of this bucket over here and pay back the team later. That's what you're looking at. And that's not Arteta. That's the whole structure there is just not working. I think we're being run. It seems almost sometimes to me like we're being run by the marketing department and not by football people. And that's what a lot of people have said. Do we have any football people actually in there managing the team, helping us out, figuring out what needs to be done? I mean, there's Overmars is available. Why not go get him and get a football person in there maybe to help us out? Because it seems like we need it. And I guess one more. I guess I had one more thing before I go. Because I was holding on this here and I made a list here. Arteta did say he's got a 3-year plan, right, to get to the Champions League and win it. Well, he's in I guess it's year 2 now, I guess, and he's 2 very big wins away from getting the Europa League, getting him into the Champions League, so he can actually play in it next season. I mean, that's where he's at, and he's doing it all wrong, because it shouldn't be this difficult. We shouldn't need 2 of our best games of the season to get him there, based on the way that the team's structured and the way that their mentality should be at this point in time. So I think he's, like you said, he's kind of playing with a hand behind his back tied to his leg, and he's the one doing it sometimes. It's not being done to him. So, yeah, sorry if I rambled on there, but just...
No, all good. I guess, look, we're just over the hour mark, so I guess, look, kind of to summarize, I'll just kind of get everybody's opinion. Sam, we managed to, as bad as it was and as hard work as we made of it, we did get the away goal, which definitely in the grand scheme of things does count for a lot. Do you think we can salvage anything? Do you think we can scrape through and get to the final?
Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Not sure, because we need to see what Arteta does with the lineup again, and who's actually available. I mean, do we get Tierney back? Can we play Lacazette? These are all questions we don't really know that mean a lot, because that lineup is different with the right players, isn't it? But yeah, I think we need to wait and see what the lineup is, but definitely, I mean, it's possible, and the players have it well within their capacity to do this. But I think I just can't trust Arteta. That's the problem. I just can't see him doing the right thing again next week. I think it's going to be a real struggle, and I think one of 2 things are going to happen. Either we just manage to scrape through by the hair on a gnat's bum or something like that, just a last minute squeak through somehow, just lucky. Or there could be penalties. I think Stephen had a good shout there. That could be another thing. Could be penalties with a 2-1. Or we could crash out because we're not going to be able to do the job. Anything can happen, but I'm leaning towards not going through, because with Arteta throughout this whole season, seeing what he does and what he doesn't do, I just don't trust him. That's the problem. I just don't trust him, and I think it's going to be a real struggle. Real struggle next week. That's what I think.
I think that's fair, and I have said all along, as much as I was pretty upbeat and positive coming into it, I did say if we didn't get the job done and we were relying on the Emirates leg, yeah, I'd be a lot less confident. Gav, what do you reckon? He may have a different looking squad for the next game, but do you trust him to get the lineup right?
No. Next. Nah, look, like Tierney was fit enough for the bench, which once again, if you're fit enough for the bench, you're fit enough to start. So, look, we shouldn't be relying on a left back to make things work. We need to play a striker. We had 3 options on the bench at striker. I would have been more convinced if we had started Eddie. Even if we had started little Eddie, because he's a striker. But then where are the opportunities? Where were the options? You know, I want to see balance. We don't have that. Arteta, I literally just tweeted my mate Alex, right, Alex Osborne. He is a diehard, devout Arsenal fan. He really is. And we used to do Two Up Top together, and I messaged him because he's uber Arteta in. And I messaged him, I said, do you still trust the process? He said, yes. But doesn't mean I'm blindly not saying that he isn't to blame tonight. But there is also the shocker, no matter what manager will be in charge of Arsenal, until the playing personnel is changed, then the results won't improve. It's as simple as that. I disagree with that.
I disagree completely.
I replied to him. Don't worry. I replied. I said, I appreciate what you're saying. However, here is this. Arteta is like the girlfriend that cheats on you every weekend when she says she's out with the girls. But you love her, so you allow it. And this guy, if he was in charge of Man City right now, Man City would be finishing 6th.
Yeah, exactly.
Tactically inept. No idea what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty
nail
pretty
on the head.
What do you reckon, Gary? Can Arteta pull it back and get us back on the Arteta in train?
I'm gonna be on your side and Steven's side today. Arteta likes to surprise us. I say it every time before the lineup comes up. He's gonna surprise us. He did it again. He should not have surprised us with the lineup. There's no way he should have surprised us with the lineup today. Like you said, if you had put Eddie up top, you would have kind of understood that, because you know what? He's feeling it right now. He's feeling like, I want to give Eddie some tries here. He would have said, okay, that's not my preference, but I get it.
No, it's not mine either.
So, but you're trying to figure out where you are in Arteta's head to figure out how does he figure that's the way to go. But he surprises us all the time. When we played Leicester City, you looked at the lineup and you said, "Oh, this is going to be a struggle for us," and it wasn't. Not at all. I mean, they might have injuries, but I think the Leicester City that we played and the team we played today could be comparable in the way that when you look at them as an 11 against us, I think. And we went out there and we got the job done, right? And I was scared with some of the players that he had put out there. If I recall, I think William started that game, if I recall. So I was a little concerned. So I have a feeling he's going to surprise us again. This team likes to play it. They like to stand on the ledge, look down, and then they do a flip and land 2 feet, no problem. So I'm expecting us to get surprised. But if he surprises us like he did today, he's in trouble. And there is no way they should let any fans in a stadium for Arsenal this season. No way. It's not gonna. No way.
Fans, I said this. I think it was on your pod, and I said this earlier on in a show that we did together. I said if fans were in the stadium, there'll be no way in hell that Arteta will still be in the job.
No, the pressure. I think the pressure would have become too much. Even though half are in, half are out. I sort of said this kind of all season. I felt like this was kind of a gimme kind of a season with no fans. I sort of thought, one, it takes the pressure off of him in a sense, but at the same time, given the ownership that we have, whatever you want to call them, negligent, absentee, don't give a shit, they were always going to allow this to just continue because of the fact that there was no pressure. Okay, up till about a week ago when there was a couple of protests, but once you're in the stadium, the doors are closed, the pressure is kind of off again. Everything is outside. So I always thought this season, no matter how it went, it was going to be a bit of a. No matter how it went, I always felt like everybody, I think, knows deep down, whether you want it or not, he's going to be there next season, regardless. And I always believe that, like, results, whatever, the fact there's no fans, I always thought, regardless, he'd be there next season. But yeah, Stephen, I guess, like, to wrap it up, Arsenal have showed up when we've needed them to show up this season. They've done it the hard way. The whole competition, the whole of the Europa League, we've not made it easy for ourselves, and potentially we could be looking at it again. After half an hour, we were saying, like, that's it, lads, pack the bags. Europa dream is done. That's the end of the Champions League. We did get the away goal. We did it the hard way against Benfica, against Olympiacos, against Slavia Prague. Are we doing it the hard way against Villarreal again? Are we going to the final?
Do you know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm still confident we're going to do it. And I have to be, as an Arsenal fan, you have to, no matter how much you try not to be, you have to be confident going into every game. You can't have a negative attitude. You've just got to pick yourself up every game and go for it again. So yeah, I do think we'll get it. I think it'll be tight, and it could be a last minute thing, or it could come down to penalties. I kind of feel that it's written in the stars. It's going to go to a penalty shootout, and we'll win it. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's hope we can get a 2-0 win, make it a bit easier for ourselves. But it's that is the one thing. Sort of the one negative. You sort of go, well, we are going to concede because we can't keep clean sheets. I just want to say on Arteta, I think there is more pressure on Arteta than we think, and I don't necessarily know that. I don't think he feels it from the fans or the board, but I think there's pressure on Arteta in the sense of Arteta has been talked up so much by people like Pep and Wenger and stuff like that there's pressure on him that way, that he feels a pressure to succeed because people have talked him up. And I think he's guilty of overcoaching these players. You can hear him on the sideline. He's telling them every pass to make, and he's not letting them play football. He's not letting them just go. These are highly paid professional players. Yeah, exactly. They're not expressing themselves. They're highly paid professional players. They shouldn't need to be told every kick of the ball. He needs to just sort of stand back and give them their instructions before they go on the pitch. Stand back, let them play. Yeah, if during the match he needs to change tactics or something, shout out the tactics, change a couple of things up, whatever it is, then stand back and let them play. Give them the freedom to be footballers. And I think it would be a different team if he did that. Yeah. But yeah, as for the game, I think we'll come through it. I think we'll get to the final, and I think we'll have a very, very hard night against United.
Yeah, do you know what? It's in the back of my mind. I'm trying not to look that far ahead because we still got the task at hand, which is Villarreal. But yeah, that United scoreline hasn't exactly filled me with confidence. Looking at that 6-2, and at one point I was kind of dancing around here because the missus is a United fan, and of course we were a goal or two down, and I kind of got, well, at least if I have some comfort tonight, at least her team are getting stuffed as well. But yeah, it didn't quite work out in my favour now. So I don't know whether in my household it might be a better thing if we just don't go through the next stage, because I don't know if there's any living with her if we get smashed by United in the final. So maybe just put me out of my misery now. But yeah, look, if I guess if we stay true to form, and historically we've gotten past Villarreal, in previous meetings. You know, it's come down to penalty decisions. I know we've lost a game against them before. I think Marcos Senna scored a screamer against us, and then we came back and I think it was 4-1 or something the second time around. I remember Adebayor scoring a couple of goals and Van Persie, Walcott. So yeah, look, we might pull it out of the bag next time around. But lads, I want to say massive thanks for joining me here tonight. You've been brilliant. I want to say a big thanks to everybody that has tuned in to watch. If you haven't hit that like button, please do. If you haven't subscribed, as always, we really, really appreciate if you do. And follow the guys in the panel. So just before we wrap up, I'll go around and everybody, you can give yourself a shout out. So Sam, I'll start with yourself.
Yeah, I'm just a guest on various podcasts. Yours, Ryan's, the Mr. Arsenal podcast, on the Arsenal Fan Circle with Ray and the lads, and Gary is there as well. Normally late on Thursday nights with the Americans. Also on with the Blind Gooner sometimes, Daniel, and I'm also now sometimes on with Scott Mason, new channel, good channel, check that out, the Red Cannon, really good. I'm on Twitter at 1980_Greenwood, and give us a follow you back, and mainly discussing Arsenal stuff. Thanks for having me.
Hey, look, anytime, we'll definitely make it a more regular thing, 100%. Gav, I don't know whether I should leave you to last. You could be about 45 minutes. Give yourself a shout out because you're a jack of all trades. For anybody who's watched the streams before, right, come on, Gav, the floor is yours.
Definitely am a jack of all trades, as you can see in it. Can you put me on big screen? I need everybody to see this.
I'll be honest, I don't even know how.
I could talk you through it. Where underneath, where it's got like the little men, click on my name underneath. Click on my name underneath. And you'll be able to see a big screen.
Here we
there
go.
You go.
There we go.
You
learn something new every day.
Network. Hey, look, honestly, I'm jack of all trades, as you said before. MAD Sports Network, that is the name of my channel. Whatever sport you like, we cover it. And if we're not covering it right now, we will be covering it within the next couple of months. So whether you like darts, whether you like MMA, whether you like wrestling, whether you like boxing, whether you like cricket, tennis, honestly, we cover it, and we do still cover football as well. The football that we cover on MAD Sports Network is the Championship, the MLS, and the Bundesliga. As far as I'm concerned, the best league in world football, the Bundesliga, most entertaining league. Teams turn up to play to win, not this pragmatic crap that you see in the Premier League or in La Liga. So therefore, please subscribe to my channel. And also follow me on Twitter at GavMac23. And also, if you didn't know already, if you put MAD Sports Network into Google, our name comes up first.
Love it. Drop the mic. Look, you learn something every day. Gary, would you like the widescreen for your outro?
I was just saying to myself, until I have to get a hat first, and then I get the big screen, because nobody wants to see my face up close. But yeah, I'm DWTT. You can find me on YouTube. Type in DWTT Arsenal. I pop up first. I do a segment called My Five, so I pick 5 players. The 5 players that I picked today, when I just looked at the list that I had, was Leno, was Ceballos, Pepe, Emil Smith-Rowe, I think, and I think Erdegar, because I was hoping that they would come back and be able to show something today. That's why I picked them. I was scared for Ceballos and Leno. I should have, and they proved me right that I should be scared for them. So that's why I'll be talking about what I see. I'll try to take another look at the game so I can get a little bit more detail on it. But that's where I'll go there. Don't waste a tweet on Twitter. This is my first official time on the Republic of Arsenal. I've kind of come in on some phone-ins, but it's my first time on there. So thank you, Anthony. I first met Anthony on Arsenal Fan Circle, where I do that twice a week with Ray and Sam and Tony and the boys there. And then you'll see me all around. Every once in a while, I'll jump on another pod when I'm allowed. So, yeah, thank you. Everybody in the chats, thank you.
No problem at all. And I do apologise it's taken so long, but yeah, we got there. And Stephen, yeah, you're probably sick of myself and Gary now at this stage after sabotaging your stream during IB. You can let people know all about your channel that we've sabotaged.
After your little loving last night. Yeah, you know what? It's all good, all good. I kind of feel like I should be standing up and like pushing this into the camera. But yeah, so I'm Stephen. We have a channel, Canon Chatter, alongside my good friend G. We're on YouTube virtually every other night, it seems, at the minute. And you can follow us on all the socials as well. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook. It's easy to find. It's just Canon Chatter. And we'll be on tomorrow night with a review show and a preview show of the Newcastle game. And I believe you're going to be joining us, Anthony. So should be a good show. If anybody's watching, tune in, make sure like, subscribe, and all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be there as long as I get Gary's blessing. As long as it's okay, Gary. Okay for me to.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you go this time.
We'll get you on a week or two, Gary. Don't worry.
Cool. Yeah, I need 2 steps behind him. I think that's the rule, right?
We'll get you on separately, and then we'll bring you on at the same time because at that stage I can just retire.
we come as a package deal. He's basically he's the Xhaka to my Arteta. Yeah, I think that's a sign to end it now. So yeah, lads, as I said, I really appreciate you coming on and giving the insight, and big thanks to everybody who tuned in to watch. So look, yeah, we got Newcastle up next, so that's going to be another headache altogether. So yeah, look, cheers as always for tuning in and watching, and we'll see y'all later.